Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is a quick review of the Tin Hi-Fi P1 Max 2. I did review the original one. This is their updated one. It comes with this very nice cable. Usually I'm disappointed with the cables that about 80% of IEMs come with, so that's refreshing to see a decent cable. And then the design is pretty nice. So yeah, fit. I will say there is a slight bit of a fit issue. As you can see, this isn't really shaped to the way your ear is. So I think they could improve on that. Just make the fit better. And this nozzle, it's not long enough. So I feel like I'm not getting the perfect fit on it, which does cause some sound issues that I'm about to mention when I talk about the sound profile. And then I have another IEM I'm going to compare it to towards the end that's in the similar price point. So without further ado, let's get started. So basically the nozzle's not long enough, so that's where the issue stands. Basically, I can't fit the IEM completely inside of my ear. So what happens is I'm not getting the best bass response. I tried cramming these as deep as I could, and it's just the nozzle's simply not long enough. So because of that, the bass does suffer. I feel like I'm just not hearing it as much, and it's just not as deep or rumbly. But yeah, no matter what you do, you're not gonna fix that. So you can't fix the bass on this, even with different tips. It's just that the nozzle's simply not long enough. So basically, when you're listening to bass heavy songs, let's say you like Chief Keef, Finally Rich, or Hate Being Sober, or Kobe, the bass really does suffer. I'm just not getting a deep rumble or a sense of tactility, and I'm pretty sure it's because of that issue I mentioned. So the bass is probably the weakest point. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It was just average to me. Didn't really stand out. And it didn't stand out because the nozzle is just not long enough. It's just not getting, I'm not getting a deep seal like I should. So for an IEM around this price point, that's slightly disappointing. Because I'm pretty sure they could have fixed that. Like, I don't make IEMs, but just by looking at this, it just looks problematic. Like, it's just not gonna fit well, not long enough. So yeah, anyways, other than that, that's just how the bass is gonna sound, unfortunately. But now let's talk about the upper mid range. And so I will say the mid bass has maybe a little bit of warmth, nothing too crazy that sounds muddy. But the upper mid range on this, so I think the 2K region is peaked a little more than the 3. So the vocals aren't really shouty at all. However, the positioning of the vocals and the vocal clarity is fantastic. It's just very, very enjoyable to listen to with your favorite vocalist, whoever that may be. Whether you like Taylor Swift or Rihanna, SZA, whoever. Female vocals come across very, very nicely. They're not too forward. It's just very clean, clear, sparkly, airy. It's just a very nice sounding mid range. So they did do an excellent job with the way the mid range sounds. It sounds mature, refined, smooth. There's no awkward characteristic in the upper mid range that I'm hearing. It just comes across very nice. The instruments just sound clear, not harsh, just very smooth. So overall, this is a very, very smooth sounding IEM. I don't hear any type of sharpness, but the overall extension this IEM provides is still really, really good on in the frequencies that matter more. So that's amazing. I love how instruments sound. Instruments in the lower regions and mid regions, like piano notes, everything comes across clearly. When I'm listening to symphonies, orchestras, everything has its spot. Nothing sounds out of place or out of character. So that's amazing. Excellent upper mid range. I do like the sound quality here. Just sounds good. With vocals, male, female, instruments, anything you throw at it works. So really, really good. Solid. No major complaints there. And then the treble is really good on these also. It's very smooth, well extended. So whenever you're listening to high pitched instruments like a trumpet or mandolin, anything that's sharp on the sharper end of the spectrum, it comes across pretty clearly. I don't hear it being veiled or muffled or have any fuzzy character to it. It just sounds correct, clean and clear, very smooth again. So overall, this is a pretty like neutral sounding IEM. It just lacks a little bit of the bass because of the fit issue. Other than that, the upper mid qualities and the treble qualities are superb on it. Just sounds very well put together and balanced. So that's solid. So I think I give this IEM, if the bass was done right, if they fix the nozzle, I think this IEM would be like a solid 8.5 out of 10 because it's just that good in the other parts of the frequencies. But because of that bass issue, I think I'm going to have to give it like a 7.8 out of 10. And because the design could have been a little better and nozzle could have been longer. So I will have to deduct a little bit because of that. But yeah, 7.8 out of 10. That's a pretty solid rating. The imaging and soundstage, it's pretty wide. You definitely get a sense of where all the instruments are in the mix. It's not pinpoint like some more expensive IEMs. At times it does get a little bit cluttered, but that's just a small nitpick. Overall, it's amazing. And now let's compare it to a similarly priced IEM. This is the Truth Ear Nova. So let's talk about the bass first. So the bass on the Nova is much superior. As you can see, the nozzle's longer. You can get a better fit. Even the shells themselves. I mean, just by looking at it, you could see that this one's more contoured to an ear. This one's not. So yeah, the bass is better on the Nova by a good amount. It's just more rumbly. It has more impact. Sounds slightly more like a subwoofer. And I do think both of these need a little bit more bass because when I'm bumping Finally Rich by Chief Keef in my car, I'm telling you the bass just reverberates and it's very, very deep. But with these IEMs, or with a lot of IEMs, I don't get that sensation. So I think newer IEMs, they need to dial up the bass more because I think we're getting into that time where you just need a lot of bass and a good quality mid-range and decent treble too. So that's where I think we're heading. So yeah, anyways, now the upper mid-range, that's where this IEM, this tin hi-fi just smokes the Truth Ear. Like it's not even close. If you listen to these side by side, the Truth Ear Nova just sounds nasally. The vocals just sound like their nose is covered up and kind of veiled. It's just a very weird tonality in the vocal regions, especially when you're listening to like non-compressed music, more analog stuff, and even modern. The vocals just sound pretty bad on these for almost a lot of the songs. Not sure what it is. It just sounds off. I think it's something around the 1K to 2K. But anyways, the Tin Hi-Fi doesn't have that issue. The vocals are more well placed, and They just sound more free-flowing. It doesn't sound like there's a tuning issue on this IEM in the upper mid-range compared to the Truth Ear where it's clearly lacking. And then the treble is good on both of these. I think the Nova has a little bit more treble, but just because this has less treble, it doesn't mean like it's bad treble. I think the treble on both of these are pretty decent. Which one would be dead reference? Probably the Nova because it has a little bit more treble, but I don't care too much about that. And in actual hearing, the treble is fine on both. So yeah, overall they trade blows with each other. I mean, if I had to keep one, I would probably keep this and live with the worst bass. Because I listen to a lot of vocal music and the vocals are just clearly superior on here. It's more majestic, easily. Uh, this just will sound like a mess with the vocals compared to these. So yeah, and then the trebles they trade blows. This does bass better, clearly. So yeah, if you had to like decide which one you want, if you like want bass or if you want more bass, like a good quality bass, get the Novas. It's just gonna outperform in that area. But if you want a better quality of a vocal, then these are better. And then the treble trades blows. So I guess vocals, and then this is for the bass. So overall, they did a really good job. They just have to fix a few design issues that I keep mentioning. Nozzle, and this shape needs to go. But yeah, solid cable too. I really like it. Much better than this one. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video.